Hugo, I just saw it again. On a billboard, no less. We have opened our new location last Tuesday. Last Tuesday.
Oh, come on, Maria. Don't tell me the grammar police are making a citizen's arrest already. It's just one little sentence. People probably didn't even notice.
They may not have noticed consciously, but the logic of the English language is weeping. You cannot anchor a present perfect construction to a specific, finished point in time. It is a fundamental.
Whoa. Present perfect construction? Maria, you're already sounding like a dictionary. Here's the thing. Our listeners are probably thinking, I say that all the time. What's the big deal?
The deal, as you put it, is the difference between sounding like a master of the language and sounding like a robot.
Ouch. Straight to the robot comment. Welcome back, everyone, to the Mrs. English Interactive Podcast. I'm Hugo, your communication coach and professional slang translator.
And I am Maria, your structure specialist. Today, we are tackling the one topic that keeps intermediate learners stuck in what we call the intermediate plateau.
The plateau. That place where you know the words, you know the rules, but your brain still feels like it's running on 2G internet when you try to speak. Today, we're talking about the shadow of time, the battle between the present perfect and the simple past.
Technically speaking, we are looking at the way English uses time as a bridge. The present perfect is not just a tense, it is a perspective. It is a way of saying that the past isn't really past yet.
See? That right there. A perspective. That's why our students get so, how do they put it on Reddit? Emotionally damaged by this. In most languages, the past is just the past. It's finished. You did it. Done. But English? English has this weird obsession with keeping the past alive.
It is not an obsession, Hugo. It is precision. If we look at the origin of this structure, it's quite fascinating. In Old English, we didn't really have this periphrastic perfect.
Periphrastic? Translate, please.
Forgive me. I mean, we didn't have a multi-word structure using helper words, or, as the textbooks say, auxiliary verbs. Originally, in the Old English period, the word haben, which became our modern have, was all about possession.
Like, I have a sandwich?
Precisely. You would say something like, I have my work done, meaning you possess the work in a finished state. But over centuries, the language evolved. We stopped focusing on possessing the result and started using have as a tool to link the past action directly to right now.
Okay, so it went from I own this finished thing to this thing happened and it still matters to me right now. But Maria, this is exactly where the friction happens. My students always ask, Hugo, why can't I just say, I saw that movie and be done with it?
Because I saw that movie is a closed door. It is the simple past. It happened at a specific time, and that time is over. But if you say, I have seen that movie, you are building a bridge. You are saying, I have the experience of that movie inside me right now.
Okay, I like that. A bridge. But here is where the stuck intermediates get tripped up. They try to build a bridge to a place that doesn't exist. They say, I've seen that movie yesterday.
Oh, it hurts to hear it.
I know. But think about it from their side. They've been taught that have seen means the past. Yesterday is the past. So they just mash them together. It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Therefore, we must understand the shadow of time. In English, once you name a specific time, yesterday, last year, 1995, the bridge of the present perfect collapses. You must use the simple past because you have locked the action into a specific box of time.
Here's the modern mirror for that, guys. Think of the present perfect like a background app on your phone. You opened it in the past, maybe 20 minutes ago, maybe 3 days ago, but it's still running right now. It's still draining your battery. It's still relevant to what you're doing on the home screen.
That is a surprisingly accurate analogy, Hugo. The background app tense.
I have my moments. But when you use the simple past, it's like you've force closed the app. It's not running anymore. It's just a memory in your phone's history.
Exactly. If we look at the extended now interval, the present perfect covers a period of time that started in the past, but includes the very second you are speaking. If I say, I have worked here for 10 years, I am still working here. The app is open. But if I say, I worked there for 10 years,
the app is closed. You're at a new job. Maybe you're retired. You're definitely not in that office anymore.
The struggle for the intermediate learner is that they often feel robotic because they use the simple past for everything because it's safe. Or they use the present perfect incorrectly because they want to sound more advanced, but they don't understand the logic of the unspecified time.
And that's the grammar anxiety we talk about. You're so worried about the rule that you forget the connection. Native speakers aren't thinking about intervals or periphrastic structures. We're thinking about the vibe. If I want to tell you some hot news, like, "Hey Maria, someone has stolen my car," I use the present perfect because I want you to know that I am currently carless and very upset.
Well, I hope no one has actually stolen your car. But you're right. Hot news is a perfect example of current relevance. If the news report says a plane has crashed, they use the present perfect because the tragedy is unfolding right now. But the very next sentence will say, it hit the ground at 4 p.m.
Boom. Simple past. Because 4 p.m. is a locked box. It's a specific time marker.
Precisely. This is why this tense is the shadow of time. It hovers over the past and the present simultaneously. It's a beautiful, nuanced tool if you know how to wield it.
But man, it's a heavy tool to carry. I think our brains need a little break before we dive into the actual time marker barrier and how to stop those robotic mistakes once and for all.
I agree. Let us take a moment to process the background app theory.
Go grab a coffee, guys. Maybe check which apps are running in your brain's background. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I hope your coffee, or perhaps your tea, has provided the necessary cognitive stimulation, because we are about to enter the most treacherous part of the shadow of time.
Glad you stuck around, guys. If Maria's talking about treacherous, that's her professor code for this is the part where everyone makes mistakes.
Precisely. Before the break, we introduced the concept of the present perfect as a bridge or a background app. But now, we must discuss why that bridge often collapses. We need to talk about temporal adverbials.
Whoa. Temporal adverbials? Deep breath, Maria. For everyone else, those are just time words. Words that tell us when something happened, right?
Yes, Hugo, time words. But in English, time words are divided into two warring factions, the finished and the unfinished. This is a constitutive rule, a must-follow rule of the language. If you ignore it, the logic of your sentence fails.
Okay, the must-follow rule. I like that. So picture two boxes, guys. One box is locked. It's labeled the past. It has stuff in it like yesterday, last week, 1995, and 3 hours ago. Once you put an action in that box, it's finished. You can't use your helper word, Maria's auxiliary verb, to touch it.
Correct. You cannot say, I have seen him yesterday. In the logic of English, the present perfect requires a space for the extended now. Yesterday is a closed unit of time. It has no physical or grammatical connection to today. Therefore, the bridge has nowhere to land.
But here's the kicker. The second box is open. It's the unfinished box. This box has today, this week, this month, and this year. These are open windows. Because the time period isn't over yet, the bridge is still standing.
This is where the nuance becomes truly exquisite. Take the word morning. If it is currently 10 a.m. and I am speaking to you, I can say, I have had 3 cups of coffee this morning.
Only 3, Maria? I'm shocked.
For the sake of the example, Hugo, I use the present perfect. I have had, because this morning is still happening. The window is open. I might even have a 4th cup.
But, and here's the part that messes with people's heads, what if it's now 3 p.m.?
Then the window has slammed shut. The morning is over. It is now afternoon. Even though the action happened on the same day, you must switch to the simple past. You must say, I had 3 cups of coffee this morning. Using I have had at 3 p.m. would imply that the morning is still occurring, which is a chronological impossibility.
See? This is why our stuck intermediates feel like robots. They're so busy checking their watches to see if the window is open that they stop actually talking. They're thinking, wait, is it still morning? Can I use have? I drank coffee.
And that is the grammar anxiety we want to dismantle. If you understand the reason, the bridge, the choice becomes intuitive rather than mathematical. But we must also address the third form of the verb. Hugo, I believe you have a more street term for the past participle?
the third form, or what I call the action result. You know the list. Go, went, gone. Eat, ate, eaten. Drink, drank, drunk.
Technically, the past participle is the component that allows the auxiliary, the helper word, to express the completed state. But many learners fudge these irregular forms. I often hear I have went instead of I have gone.
Oh, I have went is a classic. It's like wearing a tuxedo to a beach party, Maria. It's just weird. It doesn't fit the vibe. And let's be honest, even native speakers mess this one up sometimes on social media. Have you seen the grammar memes lately?
I try to avoid them for the sake of my blood pressure.
Well, they're everywhere. People posting, I should have went to the gym. And the grammar police in the comments are just losing their minds. But for a learner, that's dangerous. If you hear a native speaker say, I've drank instead of I've drunk, you might think it's correct.
This is why we focus on structural integrity. Native speakers can afford to be loose because they have the underlying intuition. But for an intermediate learner, these errors contribute to that robotic and unclear sound. It's about fossilized errors, mistakes that get stuck in your brain like a stone in a shoe.
A stone in a shoe. That's a good one. It doesn't stop you from walking, but it makes every step a little bit annoying for everyone watching you. But Maria, we have to mention the textbook lie.
The textbook lie? Which one? There are several.
The one about the words yet and already. My students always tell me, Hugo, my book says I must use present perfect with yet.
Strictly speaking, in British English, that is the standard. Have you eaten yet? I haven't finished yet.
But in the real world, at least the American one, we don't always do that. If I'm at a diner with my friends, I'm probably going to ask, did you eat yet? Simple past. No bridge, just the action.
It is true. American English has a strong tendency toward pragmatic realism. They often favor the simple past to focus on the action itself, whereas British English focuses on the relationship between that action and the present. It's a regional shibboleth.
A shibboleth? Is that a type of sandwich?
It is a linguistic password, Hugo, a way to tell where someone is from. For our listeners, if you are taking an exam in London, use the present perfect with yet. If you were having a burger in New York, did you eat yet? Is perfectly natural.
Don't overthink it, guys. Whether you use the bridge or the box, the most important thing is that the person you're talking to understands the experience you're sharing.
Speaking of experiences, when we return, Hugo is going to put us through a real-world test. We are going to see if we can navigate a conversation about travel and life choices without the bridge collapsing.
Oh, it's going to be a challenge. I've got some tricky scenarios ready. Go stretch your legs, take a brain break, and we'll see you after the break. And we are back. The home stretch, the final lap, the big game moment. If you've made it this far, you've survived Maria's history lessons and my mobile app analogies. You're ready for the real deal.
Indeed. It is one thing to identify a time marker in a textbook. It is quite another to deploy these structures while navigating a high-stakes social situation.
Exactly. So, for segment 3, we're doing a real-world test. Maria, I want you to put on your strict interviewer hat.
Oh, I believe I can manage that.
All right, guys, picture this. You're in a job interview for your dream position. Maybe it's in London. Maybe it's in a virtual office in Silicon Valley. The interviewer leans forward and asks, tell me about your career so far. Now, if you're a stuck intermediate, your brain is probably screaming, past, 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 and you start listing things in the simple past like a grocery list.
And that is the mistake. If you say, I worked in marketing for 5 years, I managed a team of 10, I increased sales by 20%, you are describing a series of closed boxes.
It sounds like a biography of a dead person. He worked, he managed, he increased. It's over. It's done. There's no bridge to the chair you're sitting in right now.
Precisely. To sound like an authority, to sound advanced, you must use the present perfect to show that your past is the reason you are here today. Instead of, I worked, try, I have worked in this industry for a decade.
See? That I've worked tells the interviewer the app is still running. You're still a marketing pro. You haven't lost those skills.
And then you can use the simple past to zoom in on specific achievements. I have managed many teams, but in 2023, I led a specific project that changed our company culture.
Boom! You use the bridge to get them interested, and then you use the locked box, 2023, to give them the details. That's the rhythm of a native speaker. We're constantly jumping back and forth between the shadow of time and the specific moment.
Let's try another scenario, Hugo. A class reunion. You meet a friend you haven't seen in 10 years.
Oh, this is a minefield for grammar. You see your old buddy and you ask, "What have you been up to?"
What have you been up to? Is the perfect present perfect question. It covers the entire interval from the last time you met until this exact second.
But imagine if you asked, "What did you do?"
Your friend would be very confused. They would think you were asking about a specific day or a specific event that you both already know about. What did you do? Needs a context, a box. What have you done? Needs a life.
And here's a street secret for you guys. When we're talking about life experiences, the experience tense, we use been and gone in very different ways.
This is a classic pitfall. If I say, Hugo has gone to Paris, where is Hugo?
I'm in Paris. I'm eating a croissant under the Eiffel Tower. I haven't come back yet. The Gone app is still active.
But if I say, Hugo has been to Paris, it means he has the experience of Paris, but he is sitting right here in the studio with me. He went and he returned.
So if you're at a party and you want to brag about your travels, say, "I've been today." If you say, "I've gone to Japan," and you're standing in Chicago, people are going to look at you like you're a ghost.
A linguistic ghost. I love it. But Hugo, we have to address the phonetic erosion before we finish, because even if our listeners know the rule, they might not hear it in the wild.
Yeah, let's talk about the sound blocks. In the real world, "I have been" is almost never "I have been." It's "I've been." That "have" is just a tiny B-V/sound at the end of the I.
And he has becomes he's. He's already eaten. It sounds exactly like he is, which is why so many intermediates get confused.
And the ultimate evolution? The American "Jeet yet?" Which is a smashed together version of "Did you eat yet?" or "Have you eaten yet?" We've eroded the grammar so much that it's just a vibration and a question mark.
While I cannot recommend saying jeet in a formal essay, understanding that it exists will stop you from being emotionally damaged when you hear it on a TV show or in a busy city.
Don't overthink it, guys. Grammar is just a tool for connection. If you use a box when you mean a bridge, the world won't end. But if you start noticing the shadow of time, you're going to feel a lot more like yourself when you speak.
Precisely. You will move from being a dictionary participant to a conversational master.
Well, Maria, I think we've built enough bridges for one day. My brain's background apps are definitely starting to drain my battery.
Agreed. It is time to force close the episode.
Before we go, here is your text message summary, the TLDR for your brain.
If the time is finished, like yesterday, stay in the box and use the simple past. If the time is unfinished or you're talking about a life experience, use the bridge of the present perfect. Done.
Short, sweet, and effective. Thanks for hanging out with us in the deep dive. If this helped you stop feeling like a robot, do us a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a lesson.
We truly value your commitment to mastering the nuances of this beautiful, confusing language.
We will see you next time on the Mrs. English Interactive Podcast. Stay curious, keep talking, and we'll catch you later.
Goodbye, everyone.